What is the most important thing to put on your to-do list? There are times when life gets very overwhelming and when the to-do list just feels like the never-ending story. Everything is out of control. Demands are being made on you from left, right, and center. You have no idea how you're going to squeeze in everything you need to do in one day. And you may very well be turning to the internet and start looking for productivity hacks, organizational hacks, different methods for managing your time and planning it. I'm an expert in this. Welcome to the Feminine Duality, a podcast for midlife women where we heal from burnout and we learn how to take charge of our crazy time. I'm Tova, single, working, special needs mom. I have burnt out twice, I have healed twice, and in the process, I have developed frameworks for how to plan your time so that you're not only productive and you achieve things, but you stay true to what your energy levels are on any given day and you don't burn out. I have spent years refining organizational methods and ways of being really productive. And I have burnt out. I have burnt out from being the capable woman, the one who always gets things done. Do you know that saying, if you need something done, give it to a busy woman? I mean, there's a reason that's a saying. It works because those of us who are the capable women, who are managing everything, somebody gives us another task and we just slide it in there with the rest of them and we just keep going, right? And so over the last few years, whilst healing from burnout, I have adjusted the way I manage time and tasks. I have become much more attuned to my energy levels on a given day. I have learned to recognize what activities recharge me and what activities drain me. And I have learned what the most important item on your daily to-do list is. It's not make your bed. Even though making your bed is a really good thing to do because it gives you one clear space, one little area of calm and serenity. But that's not the most important thing to put on your to-do list. It is not the hardest and most mentally draining task first, so you get that out of the way. For some people, that really works. For some people, that's a great method. And yes, it does get that mentally draining and hard task out of the way. But for a lot of people, definitely for me, it leaves me exhausted for the rest of the day. Now, the first thing I plan in every day when I plan my time is when and how I rest. That doesn't mean that I start my day with a nap. It just means that when I look at what I have to do that day and what my energy levels will allow me to do that day, the first thing I slot in is when I'm resting and I decide how I'm going to rest. There are 7 different kinds of rest. I don't actually know where this originated from, but I love the concept of it. And these 7 are physical rest, mental rest, emotional rest, social rest, sensory rest, creative rest, and spiritual rest. Physical rest, fairly self-explanatory, slowing down. Lying down to rest, having a nap, sitting down somewhere, but making sure that you stop physically doing things in order to get some rest. Now, I love physical rest. I love me a nap. On the days when I can squeeze in a nap, you bet I will do it. Doesn't even have to be a long nap. If I have got 15 minutes between my to-do list and picking up the girls from school, that 15 minutes I'm lying down with my eyes closed. Mental rest is another good one. I'm saying good one almost with citation marks around it. It's one I find rather hard to do. I find it difficult to quieten my mind. My mind likes to be busy. It keeps spinning away. But guided meditations are amazing for that. And I use guided meditations a lot, particularly actually helping me to go to sleep. A guided meditation is really useful. Or I will put on a good audiobook and just focus completely on that audiobook and nothing else to allow my mind to quieten down. Emotional rest is one that I don't fully understand and I need to read into so much more. What Google AI is telling me is that it involves having time and space to express yourself without being judged and learning to say no to things. And I mean, the learning to say no to things I think is important. We are heading into boundaries land and looking at what is okay for me and what isn't, and to build up in your mind very clearly what those things are. We are most definitely going to talk boundaries later on here at the Feminine Duality. Social rest, either spending time with people who recharge you and fill you up, or deliberately choosing to take a step away from people and spending time alone. Now, both of these are super important to me. I can be incredibly extrovert, and I have quite a lot of people in my life that I really enjoy spending time with, but I have to have alone time to recharge. I have to put my phone down, close my curtains, and not see or hear or think about anybody but myself from time to time. Sensory rest is also one I think is super important, and I definitely have times when I feel sensory overloaded. If I've had a day at work and everybody around me has been chatting away all day long, there's been background noise all day long, I am exhausted and I just need to not talk to anybody, not hear anything for a little bit, and then I can step back into it. But the sensory rest, I probably squeeze in micro sensory rest moments throughout every day, several times. Creative rest is a fascinating one, and that's actually what I'm doing right now. I love making these podcast episodes. I am so fascinated by the whole concept of filming and editing and creating and putting this out here. Today, my choice of rest was creative rest, and I really needed it today. And finally, spiritual rest is different ways of connecting with your inner, deeper values, whether that is religious through prayer or more spiritual with time in nature. Or I do a lot of journaling, and I feel like that fits into spiritual rest for me, sitting down and writing down my thoughts and trying to hash out a problem that's been spinning in my mind, just putting it on paper and start structuring my various answers to it quite a lot. I really think that there is a time and space for all of these kinds of rest in our lives, and I really think it's important to plan it in, because we overachieving women, we have a tendency to only allow rest as a reward and not see that rest is absolutely necessary for our productivity. Instead it is produce, achieve. Great, now you're allowed to rest. Rather than going, I am going to rest now so I can be more productive later. Today, I have a luxurious day. My children are with their dad tonight, and I have the whole day to myself. I'm only working for me today, and it is fantastic. And I can absolutely assure you that physical rest is on my agenda today. There is going to be a time a little bit later today when I start flagging, where I am 100% lying down, closing my eyes. But right now, I am doing creative rest, because this is something that really recharges me. Coming up with my podcast episode ideas, what topic I'm going to talk about, and filming it, editing it afterwards, these are things that I love doing, and it really energizes me. And today, I needed to be re-energized. I had some very sad news yesterday, and it left the whole day yesterday being a very disjointed, very odd day, where I was getting on with my day and then sitting down crying for a bit and then getting on with my day again. I picked up my girls after school, I had them overnight, and I needed to manage dinner and all of these things while feeling emotionally very unstable. I've not had a good night's sleep because my oldest daughter doesn't sleep very well at night. She has seizures throughout the night, she's in pain, she keeps waking up. And so I am physically quite tired. I've been looking at my planner going forwards for the next few weeks, and I'm going to be very busy. There's going to be a lot of demands on my time and a lot of ways in which I need to be very creative with how I squeeze in the things that really energize me. Hence, I chose creativity as my big thing right now, because I recognize that I need to recharge. I need to have this little boost of positivity of making me feel like, yay, I've made something. And that is super important to me. There are, of course, many other forms of creative rest, and ones that you don't necessarily have to do in isolation. My youngest daughter and I, we sat with hammer beads the other day. We created a little hammer bead cat that is a replica of our cat. That was a lot of fun. And I definitely think that baking with my kids is going to be on the agenda one day very soon, because that is another thing that is creative and recharging and also delicious. I also enjoy painting. I don't think I am particularly good at it, but I enjoy creating art, just for creating art. To be perfectly honest, I bin almost every single thing I draw. But sitting there, getting really deeply into what it is I'm drawing, I find that super restful and restoring. And it doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be frame-worthy and go up on my wall. Creating something for the sake of creation. Creative rest has probably been one of my biggest things for getting out of burnout. Recognizing what recharges me, not just what rests me, but what properly recharges my batteries and make me go, wow, again. And I feel that creative rest does something very different from physical rest. I think physical rest is an amazing way to hit pause, to stop the exhaustion spiral. But I don't think physical rest gives you that oomph that creative rest really does. Now, when I was at my most burnt out, at my most overwhelmed, when I was deep in the feeling of I can't cope, it was very hard to remember what activities recharged me. It was quite easy to go, I need to shut my doors, I need to isolate myself, and I need to lie down and I need to rest. Those things I remembered in that time. But going out for a walk in nature and have a chat to a tree, that didn't occur to me. Or just how amazing I feel when I make my content or plan my business. Building this business, creating the Feminine Duality has been an absolute game changer in my life. And I am super grateful that you are here and that you're listening to this. And if you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, please follow and give me a 5-star rating and a review, because that helps me reach out to so many more people. And the Feminine Duality, it really has the potential of becoming something massively big. And I really want to be here for you as you heal from burnout, as you discover what energizes you and recharges you as well, and to see you grow and expand in all of that. The most important task on your to-do list every day is rest. So I'm really curious to know, what kind of rest are you choosing today, and what does that look like? And I encourage you to take that rest without any feelings of guilt, or without feeling that you have to earn it and you have to deserve it. Come and find me on Instagram if you want to deepen this conversation. And if you think that you might need a little bit of help to recognize what burnout looks like, what your symptoms are, and how you can start recovering from it, I have a free 4-day email course that does exactly that you can access if you click on the link in the description. Thank you so much for being with me today. Now, depending on what platform you're on, please follow, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating and review, leave a comment. And if you want to connect with me on Instagram, head on over there, The Feminine Duality, and I will talk to you again next week.